So I have this service I kind of want you to talk about on your channel a bit. If I pay you $10,000, will you do it? No. Hey everybody, welcome back. Lost My Ducks Season 3, episode. I think we're on like 14 or 15? 16? I don't know. Why is it so bright? Oh my god. That's okay. If you're just listening, the light is really bright for whatever reason. We have no idea. Aside from that, in today's episode... No, I'm kidding. First, how are you doing? How is everybody? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. I'm a little bit bronchi. And a little bit rock and roll. You can kind of hear it. I have chronic bronchitis, so it like waxes and wanes all year. And like, anyway, it doesn't matter. 'Cause in today's episode... Oh yeah, we're dancing today. So in today's episode, we are going to discuss... Discussions. We're going to discuss sponsorships, actually. So, there's been a lot of stuff going on the internet with some creators that I watch, and it seems that everybody's getting this like mental health sponsorship, and other creators are like, or viewers or listeners or watchers or consumers of their material are like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this mental health thing. We can see that like you're just hawking products now and we don't like you and blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's fine. Like, I don't think I'll ever have a sponsor on this channel just because, unless it's like, I don't know, Glow Recipe. Send me your stuff. I need free skincare. Do you know what I mean? Like, even that's not a sponsorship. If Glow Recipe paid me, I would talk about them. But like, there's also always the ads and like videos about the VPN and all that kind of stuff. And sponsorships on YouTube and Instagram and that are definitely different. So I was in radio for 10 years, as you all know, and we were sponsored. A lot of every single show was sponsored. Okay. Every single show was sponsored. My show was sponsored. I don't remember what the sponsor was. They were like a glass company in town. And of course it's like going to be in town because, well, you know what I mean? Sponsorships in that way seem to work a lot different than they do on YouTube, and especially YouTube and Instagram and stuff. So like a sponsorship on the radio. So let's just say it was Box Glass Company. So Box Glass Company is like, oh, hi radio station, we want to sponsor Josie's show. We're going to pay you $10,000, probably more, to sponsor this show for 6 months. I had the sponsorship for a couple of years, actually. So we're gonna pay you $10,000 for 6 months of this sponsorship, and we want it to be Those Old Radio Shows, brought to you by Box Glass. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay? Cool. In radio, you wanted a sponsorship. That meant you were making it if you had a sponsorship, okay? So when my show got sponsored, I was like, yes, I did it. I got a sponsorship. I wanted to voice the sponsorship myself, but they chose a guy to voice it, and that's cool. And you never, another thing with like commercials and sponsors and stuff, you never let the client sponsor their own thing. So we used one of our own voice guys, and that's fine. I understand wanting the two different voices. So like, it would be like, Those Old Radio Shows sponsored by Box Glass. And I'd be like, good evening, I'm Josie Grace. And then that's how it worked. So other shows were sponsored. Like, we had a lot of different sponsors, or like, companies would sponsor a contest, be like, oh, here is, what's for dinner sponsored by Atco Blue Flame Kitchen, shit like that, right? Because it gets their name out there, and it's fun stuff. So you get a sponsorship, or you get like companies wanting their commercials during your show. So it would be like, Marty Giles for North Star Ford If you know what I'm talking about. If you were a Southern Albertan, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Marty Giles for North Star Ford always voiced his own commercials, and it was... Anyway, nice guy. He's a nice guy. Don't get me wrong. He would want his commercials played at certain times. He'd be like, oh, let's play it during the football game. Let's play it during afternoon drive. And, you know, then we'd give him some bonus ones and whatever. So on the log, it would, if you had a time on that commercial, like if it had to be played in between 3 and 5, you had to play the commercial between 3 and 5. If it didn't have a time, you could play it whenever. If it was between 12 and 12, you could play it anytime during that day, but it had to be played before midnight. So, and there was like, you know, Cowboys Casino sponsoring the Flames show on News Talk or whatever it was. So those are great sponsorships, right? And then of course you have like sports sponsorships and team sponsorships and all that other kind of stuff. And that's a whole other ballgame, but it's the same kind of thing. Whereas these sponsorships are sponsoring the station and the collective radio station or television station or football team or soccer or hockey or whatever team. It's sponsoring that entire organization. So my sponsorship didn't just go to me. They wanted to sponsor the old radio shows. That's where they wanted their sponsorship to be placed, but they were sponsoring the station. So here's where this comes in, okay? When you're sponsoring an individual on the internet, you're sponsoring just a single person. You're not going to sponsor Josie Corp. You know what I mean? You're sponsoring Josie Grace. So people are against that. If they were sponsoring Josie Corp, it would be different because Josie Corp is like 1,000 individuals and we're sponsoring them, and that's okay if they take that sponsorship. They have like 30 other sponsorships and that's how they get paid. That's how they make their money, as commercials. Whereas Josie Grace is an individual, and I automatically think that if she is sponsored by the glass company, for example, Box Glass is sponsoring just Josie Grace, that means that she will only use their glass and she only likes their glass and she's being bought by them to say nice things about their glass and all this other stuff. That's what they think is happening. In some cases, it probably is, okay? So a lot of times, these people on the internet, if they get a sponsorship, they treat it like a brand deal. And it's two different things, okay? A brand deal is, I'm going to promote these scissors and only these scissors because these scissors are the only scissors that can actually scissor. Okay, that's a brand deal. A sponsorship is, this episode is brought to you by these scissors. Use these scissors. They're on sale right now for $19.99 at Michael's. These scissors are great. That's the difference. Okay? That's the difference. Brand deal, sponsorship. So, a lot of people are saying that these people who take these sponsorships, individuals, because they have no media training, Josie is a big advocate of people having media training on the internet before they're allowed to internet. Or if they get big, maybe YouTube could put out a course and be like, you are mandatoried to take this course on media training so you don't sound like a dipshit. Okay, that's cleared up. So they're taking these sponsorships as brand deals, and it's two different things. The brand deal, like I said, is these are the best scissors ever. You have to use these. These are the only scissors that can scissor. Sponsorship. Hey, these scissors are on sale for $19.99 at Michael's this week only. Have a nice day. Okay. While you're promoting the product, you're not adding a personal touch to it. So that was a big thing with sponsorships at the station. It was brought to you by this. Brought to you by scissors. Morning Drive with Morning Drive, brought to you by scissors. Traffic on the 11s brought to you by Scissors. Your weather report with Weather Report is brought to you by Scissors times 2. Do you know what I mean? Not Scissors times 2 controls the weather, and the weather is going to do what Scissors times 2 says. Do you see how stupid that sounds? Anyways, that's the difference. So a lot of these individual channels who have no media training are taking these sponsorships and making them really personal. And a sponsorship should never be personal. And that is why I will never take a sponsorship on this channel unless it's something really that I enjoy. Because a sponsorship is someone wanting to have their name on my channel because it is a big channel, and they're like, oh, look, we might get some people to our store to buy our scissors for $19.99. Whereas a brand deal is you got to use that brand, try that brand, see if those scissors work, and if they can actually scissor, if they are the best scissors and the only scissors that can scissor. You know what I mean? I think these people need to really, really, really stop using these sponsorships as brand deals. So when you look at this thing, they're sitting there, and I think the brands are also at fault here, being like, oh, we're sponsoring you, so you have to say you like it. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. You don't. It's a sponsorship, so all you have to say is that here is my script, here is my product. It's different. So if you get a script from a brand and you're doing a sponsorship and you're like, I really don't like this script, you go back to them and you're like, I'm not saying this. And if they choose to pull the partnership or the sponsorship, that's up to them. That's their thing. Stand up for yourself. Just be like, I've never used your product, so I don't want to sit here in the script and say that I use the product. It's a sponsorship. If it's a brand deal, I really damn well hope you use that product before you're hawking it to me on the internet. With the sponsorship, especially with these like VPN ones and like the mental health ones, I think the wording needs to be readdressed, and actually if these people actually use this thing, and then I would call it a brand deal and not a sponsorship if they're actually using it. If it's a sponsorship and they just want the money from it, that's up to them. Okay? That is up to them. It's the same with athletes. So when you see the athlete, like here's an example. Here's my Q Sarton. This is the best Q Sarton ever. I use this every day because it helps with things. So if these guys reach out to me, Natural Factors, and we're like, Josie, do you want a sponsorship? I'd be like, no, can I do a brand deal? Because if I'm sponsoring this, it would be Q Sarton lipomycel technology is great if you need to use this to digest things. If it was a brand deal, it'd be this Q Sarton actually really, really helps me and I love it. But if this brand asked me to say that without sending me some product or me having never used the product, I would be uncomfortable with that. And I'd be like, no, I'm good. Thanks, man. I think it also comes down to the integrity of the creators. So if you're a creator that's going to hawk everybody's shit on the internet, well, then that's your integrity at stake. That's not mine. Sorry. I'm not hawking every product on the internet. If I don't like something, you find out I don't like it, and I'm like, this is gross, I don't like this. And then you're like, oh, we trust Josie to tell us that shit is crap. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to steer you guys in the wrong direction. And that's, Glow Recipe sponsor me. What? Actually, Glow Recipe brand deal me, please and thank you, because I've actually used your stuff. And I love it. If they wanted to sponsor me, I would absolutely take that one. I totally would. And I would look through the contract and look through all the stuff. So like there's like one I would take, and you would have to sway me. Like it's so different on the internet than it is on the radio, and a lot of people, like I said, are treating these sponsorships like brand deals, and they're two different things, and they really should read up on that and have some media training and see the difference between the two before they go and take a sponsorship on their channel. That being said, that's all I have to rant about that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me talk. If you're listening to me talk, it's a shorter one than the last couple, but that's okay. And as always, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!